Welcome to the Flip Thinking Podcast. In this podcast, you'll listen to intimate conversations between Bertolt Gunster and his guests. Together, they'll explore the guest's personal problem and try to make it feel lighter or make it disappear altogether. This can be achieved in different ways. Sometimes they can simply solve the problem, but more often than not, they'll find that they have to let go of expectations or views they hold about themselves. At other times, they can only observe the fact that there is a problem without judging it. And in some cases, they can flip think the problem.
Good morning. It's morning now.
Good morning.
Good morning. Can you tell me something about yourself?
I'm Joanna.
Yeah.
I live in Leeuwarden in the Netherlands,
Yeah.
in the northern province of the Netherlands.
The province of Friesland.
The province
right?
of Friesland, indeed.
Yeah. Your Dutch is also quite perfect.
Thank you.
Okay.
I am an instructor at the University of Applied Sciences in Leeuwarden. I teach my students business communication and I teach personal leadership. I have two daughters, age 20 and 22.
Yeah.
One of them has recently become an engineer, so
Okay.
I'm very proud of that.
Congratulated.
Thank you. I'm a person who loves culture in any form or shape, whether it's a museum, book,
Wide interest.
theater, very wide interest, and I love to travel.
Yep.
This is how it would...
Is there a father of the daughters?
Yes,
is he
there's
still...
a father. I'm divorced. We have lived separately for 8 years now. I also have a partner,
Yeah.
a Belgian partner, Patrick, and I have a cat named Zoe.
Okay.
A very, very nice cat.
So this is something about who you are.
Yes.
And then why are you here? What's your problem, dilemma, question, search?
Why am I here?
Why are you here? Not on Earth, but in the podcast, of course. Yeah.
I got very intrigued by the books that you wrote and the idea of flip thinking. I try to teach this to my students as well. And whenever we have an issue, whether we talk about personal issues or professional issues, I teach at international business. So there are a lot of business-related issues. I try to flip think it.
Yeah.
But then I thought to myself, I'd like to implement it in my own life as well.
Yeah.
And the issue I struggle with a lot is that I feel a constant urge to read, to watch, to see everything that comes on my path. So every impulse that comes from my environment, let it be a magazine, social media, for example, which says, you have to see that movie. These are the best shows that you have to see on Netflix. This is the article you have to read.
I'm getting tired already.
Exactly. Also the people to meet, the quotes you have to read. The list is endless.
You have to experience things in life.
I have to experience things in life, and there's with a strong accent on have to.
It's not a free choice. It feels like an obligation.
It
Something
feels
you
like
have
an
to do.
obligation, and it even goes that far that whenever I open Netflix, I don't just randomly look for a movie to see. I first have to make a list of the movies that I have to see so that I don't miss any other film.
Yeah.
So
But
it
there are
feels
so many movies.
Yes.
You will miss so much in life.
Exactly. And that stresses me out, and that makes me tired instead of relaxing me. And I'd like to be relaxed.
Yeah. So you want to get rid of this urge.
Yes.
Or maybe flip things.
Yeah, well,
Make
I would like to accept it, but to a certain stage, it's still present. It's present in my life on a daily basis.
Yeah.
So I even started strategies like, let's close Instagram. Let's not just look at Instagram.
If I don't see it, I don't have to dive
Exactly.
into it.
Yes.
So the best thing would be to lock
Avoid.
yourself into an empty white house with no windows, no
Yeah.
doors, no paper.
You know,
nothing.
I have colleagues who teach in design thinking and creativity, and they say, Joanna, you should go for a walk and just let your mind wander and the ideas will come to you. And that's much better.
But then, if you're not careful, then this is something you have to do again also,
Exactly,
right? This becomes
exactly.
a new burden.
Yes.
So do you have any idea what is driving, pushing you forward, learning, studying, experiencing, not missing things?
Well, you know, there's this, I try not to label it because then I already give it a name and then we kind of have a illness to treat.
But the label
fear of missing out or something like that.
But the label could be right.
It could be. Could be.
But you haven't found until yet a label that really fits.
I was thinking about it. This is the closest one I can get to. Another one could be my
fear of missing out, you said,
fear
right?
of missing out. Yes, fear of missing out, FOMO.
But this label doesn't satisfy you. Otherwise, you would not have been here, right?
It satisfies me to describe the situation, but it doesn't give me any solution. I mean, you can Google you come up with all kinds of things. I read a lot. There's this author.
Yeah, that's not a problem. Reading.
Exactly.
This is
I
what
read
you do.
a lot, and then there's also researchers nowadays like Thijs Launspa who says, it's not entirely your fault.
He's a psychologist, right?
Yes,
Thijs?
he's a psychologist, and he says it's not entirely your fault. You don't have to blame yourself for the fact that you're constantly receiving those impulses, because it's the social media that gives you those impulses.
No, but in your case, you are looking for impulses too.
Exactly.
So this doesn't give you any rest. Yeah. So now let us try to find out what is pushing you forward, right? It's a kind of push energy, not pull. It's something you have to do, not something you like to do.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah? Mm-hmm. So maybe to find the root of this, imagine that the rest of your life, you don't read, you don't develop, you don't do new things at all, right? Imagine.
Well, I do, of course I do.
But as a worst case scenario, right?
Oh, yes.
Imagine.
Oh, imagine, yes.
Yeah. I want to put you in a kind of situation that imagine when you look back in life, you have to come to the conclusion that from this day on, you didn't develop, learn anything at all. So what would be wrong or problematic with that?
My life would feel worthless.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Well,
that's the first thing.
Slow down a little.
Well, you asked me for my input.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Then worthless in the sense
worthless.
of, well, maybe not worthless, meaningless.
Meaningless.
To me, life needs to have some kind of a purpose, some kind of a end in mind, as Covey says, an idea that drives you through life.
You have to give meaning to life, and if you are able to give meaning to life, then your life is worthful.
Yes.
This is your abstract construction about life. I want to slow down a little bit because these are big words, big assumptions of you, what you think life is all about, giving meaning and thus making life worthful.
Yes.
Now, is this assumption a conviction, an idea, or is it reality?
That's a difficult one. I try to give very intuitive answers to your questions, so I haven't really thought about it very thoroughly, but this is difficult.
Yeah, so this is why I will repeat the question. Yeah. Is life only meaningful and worthful as long as you learn, experience, do new things? Is this true? Is this what life is all about?
What I would like to believe is that it is not true. But
you don't feel.
For some reason, it feels as if my mind is playing tricks on me and constantly says your life will not be meaningful if you don't do all those things, because you won't be up to date. Right. Like in the old days, like a couple of years ago, if you came to work and you didn't know the latest episode of, I don't know, Big Brother or Expedition Robinson or whatever, then you were like out of the game. But now it's no longer the case because we have so many things to watch that nobody talks about things like that. Maybe the politics, elections and things like that. So I would feel I would not belong somewhere. I would not be part of a group, maybe. Or also at work, I would not be able to inform my students. I would not be able to give them insights.
So now you take the bend to FOMO again, right?
Yeah.
But I go back to my first question. And let's slow down again. I give you the same question. Is life only then meaningful and worthful if you learn, experience, do things? Is this a reality or is it a conviction?
It's a conviction.
Right.
It's a conviction.
No, it's a conviction, right?
It's a conviction. It's an assumption that I make.
Do we know what life is all about? I think the best answer is we can have a kind of guess, but we really, in essence, we don't know, right?
No.
This conviction gives you an idea of what's life about. Knowing that this is a conviction and not reality, then my next question would be, does this conviction help you?
No, it doesn't.
No.
It only slows me down.
This is why you are here.
Me. Yeah.
So now you know that the conviction doesn't help you, but blocks you to just let it go.
That's the very difficult question.
This is why I put the question. So what blocks you to just let it go? And just say to yourself, what life is all about, I just don't know. I just don't know. You are sighing here, which is a good sign.
Yeah. Trying to let go, yes.
Yeah, sighing is almost all the time a sign of letting something go or trying to explore to let something go.
Yes.
How would life be saying, I just don't know what's life about?
No idea. No idea.
Well, just explore it. Feel how does it feel in your body, in
It
your
would be
mind?
scary.
Yeah,
It would be scary.
because you
Not
don't have
knowing is scary.
you don't know any direction from now on, right?
No.
So you can go
Yeah.
all directions.
Yeah. Yeah.
And now we are approaching on the threshold of flip thinking. Maybe what I imagine is that you are standing on this vast empty space. I just took away your sense of purpose, your idea that you know what way to go because life was about giving meaning and worth. Now I've taken this out of your hands and you can go any direction and you got no clue. You just said this in a way scares me.
Yes.
But how would it be to flip think this and think, whereas in early days I had to go one road because this is a road I choose what life was about. And now I can go everywhere. I can go any direction. So life can be from now on an adventure. Not knowing is scary, but it's an adventure too.
I would love that feeling. I would love to feel this.
Can you now in this moment for a little bit grasp this feeling?
Yeah, I
Imagine
can.
yourself standing there, not having a clue what's life about, and you are open to go every direction.
It still feels scary,
Uh-huh.
as if I'm on a verge of a cliff.
Yes.
But it does give me a feeling.
Maybe you can fly, right?
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe. Yeah. Maybe.
It does give me a feeling of, okay, you have options.
Yeah.
And the options are not requests or demands or prescriptions, obligations. You have options. So you either go right or left or stay where you are.
Yeah. So standing there in this empty space, admitting yourself to go any direction you want to, but having 2 daughters, having a job, having a Flemish friend, there are still a lot of things in life that are part of what you are doing.
Yes.
And I don't have the assumption you want to get rid of all these.
No.
So the space you are standing is not empty. It's filled with a lot of things already. And you want to hold on to a lot of things.
Yes.
I have the impression you like your job, right? For instance.
I love my job, yes.
So having said that you are in this space, which is not empty, but is filled with a lot of things that belong to your life. But still you are free to go any direction you want to, explore anything you want to. Not by obligation, but by desire, by longing, by what you like or love to do.
Yes.
So can you now elaborate a little bit on what are the things that you might do in this space where you can go every direction? What do you want to hold on?
My family.
Yeah.
My loved ones.
Yeah. See them, visit them, talk to them.
Visit them, have dinners, lunches, breakfasts with them, travel around the world with them.
Clear answers, very convincing.
Yes.
Other things you want to read, movies you want to see.
Millions.
Yeah. And because you love them, I presume, right?
Yes.
But now you are in a space that you're free to choose.
Yes.
If you want to go watch movies all day, that's fine for me.
Yeah.
So these are things you still love to do, right? You're smiling now, but what is your thinking?
There's this thought that comes to my mind. Okay, you're saying this. Of course, I have that choice and possibility, but then there's always this voice in my mind that says, but how do you choose? Or there's always more and more, and how do you fit that in a day? Or how do you make that choice?
Pick the best ones, the nicest ones, the ones that give you the most fun. Yeah.
Well, fun. I would love
fun.
the fun factor too.
Yeah, so I will give you a way of thinking and a thought of ideas that might help you. Imagine I was a kind of supreme being, God or Allah or whatever, the enlightened one, a guru. And imagine I know everything about life, about heaven or death or whatever. And I visit you and I say to you, Joanna, you did a wonderful life. You have a wonderful. It is worthful. It is meaningful. You have done this quite well. Faster than we expected. So now you can go to heaven. Your life is finished. But as you did this far more faster than we would have expected, we are here in heaven a little bit surprised because your body still works quite well. So we give you 2 options. Either you come to heaven because your life is finished, you've done quite well, or you can stay here. But it has nothing to do with giving meaning or worth because this is a done project. So there are 2 questions. Would you stay? And if you would stay, what would you do from now on? So let's investigate the first question too. Would you stay? There's a long silence here.
Oh my God. I'm considering staying.
What's happening in your brain during this silence?
I'm considering staying because that would mean that I could still explore.
But I just robbed you of the necessity to give meaning and worth.
Yeah. Scary. Yeah.
Yes. We are again at the scary...
Yeah.
The scary location.
Yes.
So you just want to say goodbye to your daughters?
No.
No. So I think they keep you here.
Yes.
So you'll stay.
Yes.
Are you sure? You don't have to.
So if I stay,
Yeah.
what's left for me?
What you want to do.
Okay.
It's up to you. God just left you alone, and He's waiting for you there, friendly, but you're left on your own. You can do whatever you want. You're free.
Yeah.
There's a lot going on in your brain,
Yes,
isn't
yes,
there?
yes.
How does it feel?
Scary, very scary.
Still.
My stomach aches. Yeah, really.
Stomachache.
Yeah. It feels okay. You suddenly have that. You have to decide.
Whether to stay or not, or yeah, but you have decided, right? You told me you stayed, albeit for your daughters.
Yes,
and
definitely.
There's a lot more.
There's a lot more. My best friend, my parents, my brother.
All the movies you want to see.
All the movies I want to see.
Yeah, so you
all
stay.
The books I want to read.
You stay. This is a solid decision.
Yes.
So, but now the scary bit. What are you going to do?
Yes.
And you feel this really in your stomach. Now I am surprised. It's a very stubborn, deep feeling, right?
Yes, it's a very deep feeling. Yeah.
Other topic. Did you develop strong ideas about life in your childhood? What life is about? What you should accomplish? Give in regard to meaning and worth, right?
Yes, I believe so. The environment I grew up in gave me very strong, purpose, goal, direction that I should follow.
So what were the core messages they gave you?
That there's a certain path you follow. And I grew up in a Catholic environment. Our family was not very Catholic, but
it was a culture.
It was a culture, and there are also certain norms and values that go with it. And that, but also there was a course of life. You go to university. Don't even think of not going to university because you're smart. So you should go to university, and after that you should have a steady job and a steady family, and so on and so forth.
So there was this plan, this path.
There was a plan.
You had to walk, and now you're sitting here listening to somebody who says maybe there is no plan at all.
Yeah.
Or how would life be without having a fixed plan?
There were many more, we don't have to talk about them, but there were many more things that happened in my life that didn't go according to plan, and it took me a while to get used to them, such as a divorce.
Right.
This is something I could not, I had
it
to
didn't fit.
with.
It didn't fit
it didn't fit in the plan.
Right. And then you had to make a new story for yourself to repair this.
I believe there's a very nice saying, you create a new narrative.
Right.
Things that you say to yourself.
Because
this is my life now.
Our identity, our longing for an identity needs a narrative.
And the interesting thing that you said a moment ago, you have that moment when God says, indeed, okay, you stay here or you go to heaven. I had that moment when I moved to a new house after the divorce. And I thought to myself, my life is going to be completely ruined. From now on, I'm just dead. But the next morning I woke up.
You were still there.
And I was still there. My daughters were still there. My job was still there. My car was there. My cat was there.
And you were able to create a new narrative and to create thus a new identity.
Yes, and that is definitely something I'm very proud of.
Yeah. So you have experienced that you are able to create identities, to create stories, to create your own path in a way.
That is correct.
And now you're still holding on to this deep-rooted path that your life should have meaning and worth. And now you are robbed of this need.
Well, I still
believe
that life should have meaning and worth, but maybe it does not have to have such a fixed meaning. That is something I would like to let go of. It doesn't have to be so fixed. I would like to give it meaning, but leave it up to life in a way.
But here I protest, because I have to give meaning. Still, then you carry the assumption that it doesn't have meaning unless you give it meaning. So you're still talking out of your old conviction, which I try to...
All right, I get it.
Yeah. You don't... What if life is in itself the meaning? Or what if life doesn't have to be given meaning? Do birds give meaning to their life? They just fly and make children and enjoy and eat worms and then they die.
I look at my cat.
Is your cat struggling to give meaning to its life? But it still lives.
Yeah.
And so how do you think about people who are physically or mentally handicapped or limited? Is their life worthless because they cannot give meaning or worth to their life? No. So what's the crazy idea that you carry with you, that life has to be given meaning?
I don't know. It just stems from my youth. It stems from books I read.
And it gives you direction.
It gives me direction.
And then life isn't scary anymore because you know what you don't want to do.
Yes.
But in essence, it's a very religious and then in the church-like meaning of the word that you have to give life, blah, blah, and then you go to heaven.
Yes. And you earn that space in heaven.
And if you don't do so, you don't earn it and you don't get it.
Yes.
So this is a narrative.
This is the narrative,
And hopefully you can flip-think this narrative What if I don't carry this narrative? Then I have options, freedom. I'm standing in a landscape and can go every direction.
I would love to feel that way.
Yeah, this is why you are here.
Yes.
And is this new feeling a little bit sinking in? Is it reaching
It
your
is,
stomach?
yeah,
Is it reaching your stomach?
It is still reaching. It's not getting worse. Let's put it that way. But it's reaching. Yeah.
And let's go to the scary feeling in your stomach, which in a way I think terrifies you, or it gives you unpleasant thoughts.
Yes.
So what if you think this is just a funny feeling? How would it be to make fun, to make humor with it or about it? Ha ha ha!
Yeah.
I'm scary.
Yeah.
Or maybe she is scary. And look at yourself as a mother looks to her daughter, and with love, embrace this feeling of anxiety.
That would be great.
Are you able to do so in the moment now, while we are talking? Go to your scary feeling and then look from above and make fun of the fact that you make life to a tragedy by thinking so.
Yeah.
Isn't this
if
funny?
you look from the distance, it's of course funny. My students will probably laugh. My parents will laugh,
This is
but in the end, it is my feeling. So feeling is something that is very personal. So you just carry it with you. And indeed, it helps to look from the distance and realize, all right, maybe I'm just being ridiculous.
I have the assumption that the feeling will stay there as long as you deeply feel that life has to be given meaning. Now, once you can look at this conviction as a narrative, a story that you can hold on to, but you can let go too, the scary feeling isn't gone from today or tomorrow. It will be there. But from now on, hopefully, and this is what I predict, I'm quite positive, hopefully every time from now on you have this scary feeling, I'm missing out, I should do something. Maybe then you can zoom out, look at yourself and say, ha, 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 she's scary again. But she doesn't have to be, because life doesn't have to be given meaning. I just don't know. Funny that she's scared.
Yeah, it's definitely something to try.
And are you curious in trying?
I'm definitely curious, yeah.
This sounds good and solid.
That is, I wouldn't be here if I didn't believe in opening up to new opportunities, new ideas. There is something in me that has told me for a while that I have to do something about.
Very good, yeah. But you can stay curious.
Yes.
You can still read books, as many as you want to. And you can see all the movies you want to. And still you can have this anxiety about things missing. This is fine, because this is something we all have. There's nothing wrong with that. But there's no need that you have to do them all the time and continuously. And if you do nothing for a day or two, then this is wrong.
Yeah. Well, not anymore. This is a part of my life that I have embraced more and more. And my cat helps me in that. She just basically sits on my lap, and
the cat knows.
She even, makes me get rid of my phone. I am here, you are here, and just take care of me.
Yeah.
That is something I manage to do. I take lunch walks to really get out of the office.
I have the assumption that this is something you have learned and integrated in your life.
Yes.
But before this conversation, all these moments of doing nothing would be fine as long as you knew that the next day or the same evening you would do things.
Yes.
And hopefully from now on, this is nice and fine because it's nice and fine. And also, if you would do nothing the next day or the next day or the day after, it still would be fine. And if you start to read a book, it's just because you want to read a book, period. Hopefully.
Yeah, I've been trying to incorporate it more and more. And I also have been trying to look back at moments like those as moments of exploration and not a moment of failure. Because in the old days, it would be often like, oh, you wanted to read this book, but you didn't. That's bad.
Yeah.
And now it's okay,
Well, you've made some progress already on this road. So, summary, there was this life, you thought life was a path, a destination to give meaning and worth. And this was very nice because before this conversation, you knew what life was about. Giving meaning and worth and direction, you thought. And it helped you because it gives you direction and focus. You know what to decide from moment to moment. But it was accompanied by this feeling of having to or need to or urge. It became a burden in a way. Now, I've robbed you of this necessity to give meaning and worth. You are standing in an open landscape. Your daughters are there, your friend is there, your work is there. So there's still a lot of things, but you are free now. So hopefully, and this is a kind of attempt to summarize this conversation. Hopefully, we think the necessity of giving direction and not knowing where to go to as a new possibility, a new curiosity.
Curiosity is key, and I would like to add fun to it. I would like to see more fun.
I can completely agree with this. Yeah.
I would like to see more fun. Do you have any tips on how to create that fun? How to
laugh about yourself all the time. And if you have this anxious feeling in your stomach, make fun of it and tell yourself, she is anxious now. Ha, ha, ha. Funny, because she doesn't have any logical or rational need to feel anxious, but she does. And this is not a problem. This is a funny thing that goes along with this old idea of having to have direction.
Okay.
Make fun of it. Make fun of yourself and make fun of life. You know, you are born and then you die. In the meantime, we do things. We do our best, and that's all we do. We are stumbling forward in life.
Yes.
That's all.
That is definitely
There's nothing more to it than that.
Yeah.
So I hopefully give you a little bit of my basic feeling about life, that it's a light thing, a fun thing, with a lot of hassle and a lot of battle and a lot of problems and divorces and people die and a lot of problems. These are all part of life, but all together, it's a fun
definitely
adventure.
is fun. Yeah, we should not forget. Life is fun. And we are very privileged to live in this country, in this environment.
In Leeuwarden.
In Leeuwarden. It's a very nice province, you know,
I know,
Friesland.
I know.
You have a roof above your head, a very good job.
You have a
fantastic students.
A lovely cat.
Lovely cats. The list is endless.
Yeah. So now I think this is the end of our conversation. Do you agree?
I do agree. Yeah. And there is a part of me that still maybe not struggles, but says, okay, Joanna, let's try this. Take it one day at a time.
Yeah. And how do you feel right now?
A bit relieved. I kind of expected that you would give me very well thought solutions. Like it has to happen this way or that way. But I like the idea of laughing about it. That's something I would like to achieve as well. So.
Yeah. Well, now and then I
it.
saw you very much capable of doing so. So just continue and develop like a muscle. Train it.
Okay.
You can. So good luck with that.
Thank
you. A lot of fun with that.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for being here.
Thank you very much.
Do you want to flip think your own problem too? In Bertolt Gunster's bestseller Flip Thinking, you will learn all about the life-changing art of turning problems into opportunities. Flip Thinking is available in England, Italy, Portugal, South Korea, United States, and soon in 17 other countries too. For info, check out flipthinking.info.